Like a lot of times people are comparing themselves to something that's not actually real.
Correct. And I really, really dislike it when, some netizens actually go after some of the celebrities. Oh, Muka Awam je.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Season 4, Episode 2 of Art of Beauty. My name is Amanda Imani and today we have this beautiful guest, this beautiful lady with me, Nana Muhammad. Hi everyone! Okay, Nana, you do everything. I follow you on Instagram and I know you cover everything from like fitness, wellness, beauty, fashion, lifestyle. Maybe would you like to give a little introduction to our viewers what you actually do?
Oh, as of now, I think I'm no longer seriously in the fitness scene. I mean, I used to, I guess about a few years back, but now I'm slowly moving on towards wellness and trying to just be a successful entrepreneur. I hope,
Yeah, of course. Fingers crossed. I mean, I know like you were speaking earlier to me about like, how you just started like, wanting to, get more into wellness and how I've seen you do like yoga at home. And
that's right.
And I'm like, wow, I should do that too. Because today's topic is actually mental health and self-care. And I know you're big on that. And like from a mental health perspective, I wanted to ask you is there any beauty routines or rituals that you do on like, maybe when you're feeling a little bit down that refresh your mood and your, kind of make yourself feel happy again?
Oh, okay. The first thing that I would go for is long hot cool showers. So it's not neither hot or warm or cold, but it's a mixture of two, because I find that kind of really relaxes my body. So it's like 1 minute cold and then 1 minute warm and hot, and then like alternate that, and then seriously I just more relaxed.
Wow, really?
And it's like rejuvenating as well. Yes, and at the same time, I kind of like to breathe while I'm doing this ritual. I would say ritual, right?
Ritual, it is a ritual.
Ritual. And of course, if in terms of not in the beauty part, but more so having a good conversation, a serious conversation, enlightening conversation with friends that you can really trust. So in my circle, can I say that?
Yeah, of course.
In my circle, I think I can count by fingers. Maybe it's just two of them, and one of it is my husband. So I truly appreciate that his presence, where he is very easy to communicate with, and he's never judgy. And he would say that if I'm in the wrong side or if it's my fault, then he would say it nicely to me, is that, oh, actually maybe you a little bit overreacting on certain things, and then this is what you should do. But he would say it nicely in a very constructive way, and then wanting me to be better. And then another person is my manager. She's wonderful, and I call her mommy.
Oh,
because I look up to her as a mentor in terms of like entrepreneurship, self-advancement, I would say grooming me to become a wiser woman. Because last time, I think, if I'm comparing myself like many years ago, like I usually try to always over-explaining myself, perhaps because of like past trauma and stuff like that, right? But now it's more so I take my time and then evaluate every single thing, and then only I would answer. And that is non the beauty part, but the beauty part is, of course, I get into more mindfulness regime like yoga, Pilates, breathing, and of course gua sha.
Gua sha,
wow. Like I try to look like I try to maintain, I would say everyone want to maintain their youth, right? And being 38 this year, I feel a lot of changes happening on my face. I would say a little bit wrinkle here, a little bit sagginess here and there. So I try to make it as natural as possible, and I find that it is really calming for my mental and my body as well.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that is really, like the way you put it, like when you turn older, like when you get and you age and you realize like like you mentioned, you take things slower and you really like evaluate what you have to say and what you put out there. I think a lot of times when we're like younger, we're a little bit more naive, a little more innocent, we just kind of like, you know, wear our hearts on our sleeves, and sometimes we just say things that, you know, we might regret later. So I think it's, you know, it's a natural like progression of like aging, that you just become more self-aware, and you're also more comfortable in your own skin and what you have to say. You're a firm believer in what you stand for, basically, which is always admirable, I would have to say. So talking about like the wellness stuff that you do, because I know you do a lot of that on your Instagram, and I'm always stalking. I'm like, okay, how can I be as fit and, you know, and as calm and relaxed as Nana? Because you look, you know, you do a little bit of everything, and I think that's really, you know, respectable, because it's not easy in this industry. I feel like you have to wear many different hats.
Yeah.
And like for you, do you see any sort of maybe, is there a relationship between beauty and maybe like, you know, self-care and mental health? Do you think that there's, you know, anything, does one affect the other, do you think?
Yes, absolutely. To me, being fit is so subjective. I mean, maybe way back when people look at me and say, oh my God, she is so fit, look at her muscular body and look at her muscular figure. But to me at that time, I mean, there's so many issues. I may look tough and fit outside, but I think internally it kind of like does a little bit of damage to my body as well, because forcing myself to eat a certain amount of protein in X days. I mean, come on, like, I am not a big eater. I don't have a really big appetite, and forcing myself to eat 2,500 calories daily is really such a chore.
Yeah, oh my
right?
God.
And I feel that it kind of like took a toll on my mental health as well. It's like trying to succumb to what society and netizen expect me to be in years to come. Yeah. And then I guess 10 years later, I started to reevaluate myself. I mean, like, I don't have to
please everyone, right?
Yeah, I don't have to please everyone. And to me right now, my figure is like what I'm comfortable with. I don't have to force eat myself. I just eat intuitively how I feel on that day. And I feel that nutrition is really important if you really want to keep your body fit. Fitness is not just about being able to, I would say, run 10,000 miles or run 30 kilometers.
Yeah, lift a certain weight.
Or lift a certain weight. But it is also being able to function daily without feeling any pain, or being able to get up in the morning and then not being able to walk. You know, because I caught myself waking up in the morning at 5 a.m. trying to meet my call time at a time. And I stood up and I couldn't walk. I just fell, and half of my body was paralyzed, literally crawling to the toilet and then try to take a shower. And that's how overworked my body was last time, because I was training twice a day, and I was like training people, I was doing hosting, and I was just like try to prove to society that I can be this person. But deep down inside, I'm just doing a lot of damage to my body. So as of now, I think I want people to sit down and really take a paper and then just like jot down like what does fit means to them. And if it's being healthy, not feeling tired, not feeling lethargic, and being able to move daily without feeling any pain or any limitation, and then that's good enough. And then from there you evaluate what kind of activity that is suitable for you. If it's Pilates, go for it. If it's yoga, go for it. And simple as walking daily, it's good enough, because I mean, come on, walking is the best form of exercise ever, right? But people always thought like, oh, you have to do all this crazy.
You need all the equipment. You need all the
just for the gram, just for TikTok. Well, it is not that. But again, when it comes to nutrition and fitness and being fit is number one, because without proper, intuitive, good, nutritious food, you will not be able to be fit.
Yeah, I totally agree 100%. And I think, you know, like you mentioned,
I think this session is becoming too serious now.
No, I think people want to know, because sometimes they don't know. Like they see you on Instagram and they're like, wow, she's, like you said, like she's so fit. She must be in like a really good space. Like they don't really, you know what goes behind the scenes, and like how much effort it takes to actually maybe reach your goals. And to them, it's like, oh, she can do it, then I can do it. But they don't really know what kind of, things you got to sacrifice, whether it's like lack of sleep or too much food or anything like that, right? So, and again, I feel like in this industry, people expect, everyone to look and behave a certain way.
Correct,
so what do you think of, society now and like maybe some of the unhealthy like fads and diets that have been going around? Because every year or so, like there's a new trend. There's like something that, okay, now it's the keto diet, and suddenly it's like, oh, everybody is just eating, I don't know, it's just a liquid diet, for example. And now there's like all these new, I don't know, fancy medication. Like what do you think? I mean, it's definitely a trend, but some of them can be quite unhealthy and dangerous. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Okay, I'm not going to mention any certain trend because I pissed many people enough in the past talking about this, I would say, topic. But what I can say is that you need to find out who you are. You really need to know yourself, having self-awareness about your health, right? Because, I mean, yes, we have the same kind of like, organ and things like that or whatsoever as a human, right? But our health is not the same.
Right, everyone's kind of different.
Right, everyone is different. Our DNA is different. So find out if your parents, your grandmother have any like health issues, and then get yourself checked. If you have extra, I would say, budget, go for DNA tests, go for like health test, health screening every year so that you are up to date on your health levels. And then from there, you decide, what should I do? What kind of change should I be doing right now? Because you cannot just eat because it's a trend. You cannot just eat because your coach says so. And then way back when people asked me, like most of my clients used to ask me and say, oh, like you eat this, can I also follow your diet? I'll say, no. I mean, this may work for me, but it might not work for you, because for me to understand my body, it takes months. And even now, I'm still learning about my body. Like, I used to be able to eat cauliflower with no problem, but now it gives me like humongous, hideous, intolerable gas. So I love cherries, and I used to eat like half a bowl of cherries and really indulge in it, but I can't anymore. So your body keeps changing. So please don't follow diet. Like, truly, like, take the time to get to know your body, jot down what you eat, and then wait after 1 hour and see how it feels. If you feel bloated, sluggish, tired, sleepy, and then you try to experiment next week and then not eating this certain food, and then see how you feel. And when it comes to liquid diet, I mean, it's a yes or no for me, because I do sometimes do kind of like a liver detoxification protocols just to make sure that my liver is functioning properly, because you don't know what kind of like things we eat, right, when we're eating outside. So please do not follow trend. Trend is there just because of a trend. That's why it's called a trend.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like, back then when I was growing up, like, you didn't really have all this, like platforms to actually, relate to other people. Because now people, like I said, like social media, it's a pretty open space. You see people going through the same thing. You don't feel so alone.
Yeah.
But what would you say, like, what were some of the steps you took? I know you said, like, you started your wellness journey, started doing things that you felt like, you didn't need to please everybody. You want to do something for yourself. And I think that's really important. But for anybody who's watching and maybe is feeling like kind of in a rut, like, what would you say to them to maybe, like, get themselves back on track and, get back into feeling fully themselves?
Oh, okay. Wow, this is a really heavy topic. Okay, like I said, having someone to talk to, that is definitely, and that someone should be someone that you trust, and also emotionally intelligent. And what I realized along the way, I mean, the kind of friends, I'm really sorry, I love you guys, but some of you are not emotionally intelligent. So I'm sorry about that. But you just like fun and laugh, but when it comes to like a
real talk,
everybody just.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, when everything is going good, everybody wants to hang out. And then when things get a little bit, downhill, everybody's like missing and nobody's there.
Yeah, and I really... No, I'm not going to say hate it, because hate is a really big word. But I would say I dislike it when I'm trying to have a really real conversation with someone. They kind of like diss you, and then they say like, oh, such an energy sucker.
Right,
It's
Debbie
not
Downer.
that, because sometimes we really truly want to have like a really good conversation, right? So yeah, having someone that truly understands you, who doesn't judge you, is
A good support system.
a good support system is number one. Number two is get yourself a help.
Oh, wow.
Get yourself help. I mean, I do not go to a therapy like session or whatnot, because I mean, I think I'm my own therapist, because indirectly because I learned psychology. I studied psychology in uni.
Same. Oh my God, same.
So I kind of like self-evaluating myself. It's just sometimes I kind of like need reassurance. So hence I need these emotionally intelligent people who doesn't judge and then just to now I realize
Because I feel like sometimes when you want to speak to someone, it's really just you want to be heard, and it's not necessarily like you need a solution. You just kind of want to vent out your emotions, and sometimes it helps a lot. Totally get that, and I'm sure you guys watching will understand that too.
And then another thing is that I went to, I'm not too sure whether I can share this or not, but I mean, if you know what it's called energy healing, so I started getting into that, and I kind of like learned a lot from that process, and I think in some way it healed me.
Wow.
I got to know that I'm 100% empath. And before this, I don't understand why when I go out and I come back home and I feel so lethargic to a point where I can't do anything, and sometimes I do feel sick as well. Like I do feel like feverish, and I feel like I caught a migraine. And then I learned that, I actually feel other people. And as I learn about this space, and I'm like, I kind of like need to learn how to protect my energy so that I don't absorb all this negativity around me. And sometimes I kind of like do it unintentionally, right? So having learned how to set boundaries and also protect my own energy, it's really amazing, because truly I kind of like heightens my self-awareness as well, like and yes, listen to my gut.
Definitely.
I used to diss my gut feeling when I was younger, but for the past 2 years I kind of like learned to trust it. Because trusting your mind,
intuition, right?
Trusting your mind when it comes to certain things is needed, but sometimes you just need to trust your gut and intuition, and most of the time it is right. So that's what I do. Breathing, a lot of breathing. And also, I mean, I'm not into journaling much because I'm such a bad writer. I'm really bad at writing my emotion on paper. But if you're into journaling, you can just do it anywhere right now, because on your phone, I mean, if you're using iPhone, you can just open the journal app and just start journaling and jot down. Most of the time I just keep it. I just keep it in a mental picture in my brain. If I forget. If not, now I remember it.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing.
What do you think of the societal expectations of women, especially? I think, they have these, unrealistic, I guess, expectations of how women should be, how they should act, how they should look, and how they should dress. Do you think social media, especially being in the entertainment industry and social media, does that perpetuate, this ideal standards for beauty for women, especially that are kind of unrealistic at times?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, come on. We can just call ourselves more progressive or more urban whatsoever, right? More advanced. But let's be real, people. You are not. Especially the netizen. I'm sorry. Don't come up to me, okay? Come on. I mean, if you look at someone's body and then just imagine, right? So this good-looking man got married to I think she's pretty in a natural way, and it's he can do better. Why is she not this way? Why she doesn't look like this? Why you keep complaining about other people's body? You mind your own business. Oh wow.
Totally. Yeah, but it's true though.
So I feel that people need to stop, and media also need to stop. And I know I'm sorry again, media. I'm sorry, media, but I mean, sometimes I do understand that that's how you actually gain traffic.
Right.
Right? Like people, the way people dress, like the kind of brand they wear. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's nothing, but you make it into something. So I feel that this is a very unhealthy way. And then, again, I just want to remind you guys that this kind of little nitpicking and then like mengata and all this thing, you don't know the kind of effects that you're gonna give to the people or the person, right? Because you never know the kind of struggle that a person actually goes through behind the scene, because you don't live with them.
Yeah.
So I think that the beauty standard and stuff like that, you always need to constantly remind yourself, like, do I need to comment about people's body every day? Maybe you should look into a mirror and ask yourself, am I perfect?
Yeah.
If you're not, then right? And I really, really dislike it when, some netizens actually go after some of the celebrities. Oh, Muka Awam je. What does it mean?
What does that mean?
What does it mean, Muka Awam je?
Yeah.
Like, you have a royal face?
So, in that sense, I mean, I think you put it in a really good, way. I mean, you said, people sometimes are nasty and can say nasty things, especially online. What would you say to someone, for example, who, idolizes people that they maybe see on television and they feel like, I want to look exactly like that, and they go to extremes. Maybe it could be going under the knife or, like I said, going on some crazy diet, changing how they look, plastic surgery, things like that. What is your opinion on that? Like, people trying to look a certain way and maybe not. And I think a lot of that stems from not being confident with who they are and their self-esteem. Like, what would you say to people, to build their self-confidence or their self-esteem?
Again, you have to ask yourself why you are doing this at first. Like, why you are not comfortable and what you are not comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
And then start asking your value. Like, I always reminded my clients that you shouldn't do things because you want to please other people.
Yeah.
The first person that you should please is always yourself, because nobody is paying your bill. All these people, they are not paying your bills.
Yeah.
You work hard, and then you have to put on certain effort so that you make a living, and then you'll be able to support yourself and pay your bills. But at the same time, if you're not taking care of your mental health, then you will not be able to do this. So always ask yourself why and what you are doing to yourself, and then jot down, right? So that's number one. And then number two, I think we all should stop pleasing other people. Stop pleasing other people. And number three, ask yourself, are you happy when you do this? Because sometimes you do it because you want to get married, you want to get engaged, because your friend do it, you want to feel included.
Yeah,
you want
peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure, and then you want to be, in the trend and all these things. So, yeah, ask yourself that. I mean, if it doesn't make you happy, and if it's just on the surface, then it is not. And then ask yourself, lastly, number 4, will it do damage to your physical body permanently?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Because I've seen some stuff, and then I
some irreversible things that people do to themselves.
Yes.
Well, just to wrap things up, I think Nana basically put it in you said it really well, like how you said, it's all about intent, support system. These are the keywords that I've picked up from you.
Yeah.
Being in the moment, willingness, commitment, discipline, seek help when you need to, and just trust your gut and your instinct.
Yes.
And follow your intuition most times. And I would say, what else? Do you have anything else you'd like to add apart from what you just said? Anything else, for people who are going or struggling, apart from all those things? Any last comments or any last
I think
things you'd like to share?
what really benefits and it really changed me as a person and individual is that I love to self-reflect. Self-awareness, self-reflects. Certain things sometimes when you plan out things and then it doesn't go your way, or drama happen, or like you're fighting with someone, you have a disagreement with someone, always sit down, jot down, and then have a chat with, for example, your mom or like your husband or like your good friend, and then ask, am I overreacting? Not for them to be on your side. So it is really important to find someone that really can give you that kind of advice, like honest, genuine advice. But you have to be willing to accept this. The key word here is willing to change and willing to accept. Self-awareness, right? So if, let's say, the person say, oh no, the other person is treating you unwell and is being a certain way to you, quite toxic to you, sending you some negative behavior or energy, then maybe it's about time for you to cut this person out of your life. I know it's really hard to do. That was one of the the most hardest things that I actually did it this year, early this year. It was the hardest, but it really changed my mind. And if, let's say, that you are the one who are overreacting, then maybe reflect on yourself and then ask yourself how I can be better tomorrow. Right. So willingness, self-awareness, always check in with yourself on how you are feeling, jot down your emotions on a paper or on an app, and then you can actually go back and, kind of like reflect on that. Yeah. And I feel that it's really healthy. And you can actually do this with your partner as well, your mom as well. I know it's really hard to do with your family members because they are not willing to do that sometimes. Yeah. But if you're unlucky and your mom and dad or your sister or your brother, your siblings, your good friend, your best friend are willing to do this and create a safe space for you to just reflect on things, on your friendship, on your relationship, it can be really healthy. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being on this episode. It was so lovely chatting with you and having some insight on, how you cope with things and what you do in your daily life and your routines. I think, for people who are viewing, maybe they would, learn a thing or two from you and just some of your, lifestyle things that you do, like breathing, journaling.
On social media now because
and social media where talks a little bit. Oh, that's also good. But if you are on social media, where can everybody find you on socials?
Oh gosh, okay, I have multiple accounts. So wellness and fitness, that should be revamped anytime soon now. I'm just taking some time off from there just to make sure what I want to go forward in months to come. So that one you can find me on Instagram or on TikTok. Nana Muhammad, Nanamohd. I changed my name last year. And I recently got into beauty as well. So that one you can find me on TikTok, Beauty Nana. And if you want to find me and my husband being silly, then you can find us. You can find us at Nick and Nana on TikTok. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much, Nana. It was so fun talking to you.
Thank you so much for
being on this episode. And with that, guys, that is it for us for episode 2. I hope you enjoyed and learned a thing or two about self-care and mental health. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.